Camouflage. It's a survival tool used by animals in the wild to hide from predators and catch prey. They use special features in their skin and their body to blend into their surroundings. I happen to be pretty skilled at the art of camouflage myself, so when I found out about this story, I thought it would be perfect for me to come down and to chill. Right, okay, so you basically ruined it. I wasn't expecting you to come around like that. All right, so maybe I'm not great at camouflage, but I'm down here at the Bristol Aquarium to meet someone who's considerably better at it than me. The newest addition to the aquarium is a camouflaged fish who spends most of his days pretending to be seaweed. But watch where you're paddling, because this little guy has a sting in his, well, leaf. To get an idea of how deadly this fish can be, I went to speak to Phil from the aquarium, who's the expert on all things fishy. Deadly scorpion fish, tell me more about it. How can this kill me?
It's more of an intense physical pain than death.
Right.
It can affect you if you're old or infirm or very, very young, for example. But it's basically got these beautiful, very strong spines along the dorsal fin that have poison sacs at the bottom. And if they feel attacked or they're actually stood on, for example, or a hand goes on them, they're like little hypodermic needles that deliver the toxin directly into you. It's a very efficient way of doing things.
So where would people find these in the water usually?
Anything from the shallows in a few meters of water all the way down to around 100 meters these are found.
Around about at Clevedon? Have you seen them at
Not
Clevedon Beach?
really Clevedon,
Western
more
Beach?
over, more towards Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Yeah, it's just
right.
over the road there, near Cornwall.
So you've got to be a pretty strong swimmer to come across these guys.
It's a bit of a way. Yeah.
Now they're usually camouflaged. This guy isn't doing too well at the minute. I've noticed though he has gone a bit more red since we started talking. He was yellower before. But they generally try and camouflage against the seaweed, don't they?
Yeah, it depends where they're from. These have obviously been imported from Indonesia. This one's been in the country for about a year. He has obviously come from an area with a certain type of seaweed where he's matched to perfectly. We're developing this tank, and he's actually, since we've had him, he's gone slightly darker and slightly greener. They will adapt over time.
Oh, so he's learning?
He's learning.
He's learning.
Because they're very much an ambush predator.
Yeah. So I've noticed these little things on the end of him that's coming up. They're like feet, aren't they, that stick him to the sand?
Modified pelvic fins. They kind of almost walk. They do swim now and again. They don't tend to do a lot, and a bit like me, until food's on offer. And then it's all kind of like, oh, they get interested. They only feed a couple of times a week, and they kind of creep up on their prey. If they move at all. Usually they let the prey come.
So what do you feed them? What do they eat?
This one's feeding on small dead sand eels and small pieces of fish and shrimp. Some individuals will never feed on dead stuff. They need small shrimp, for example.
So there he is then, the weedy, deadly scorpion fish, otherwise known as?
Oh, Rhinopius.
Rhinopius.
The species name.
He's here to stay, isn't he?
He is, very much so.
If you want to come down and see some deadly seaweed scorpion fish, I don't know if you'll be able to touch him, then head down to the Bristol Aquarium.